next blank page in your journal and have a writing utensil ready. So we're going to take a little bit of notes in our journal to organize our thinking over the cell cycle. So at the top of that page, if you want to title it, Cell Cycle in your journal. So just like we just saw in our warm-up, we can have a enzyme and substrate. If I write it, you write it. Remember, they must fit together like a lock and key. They must match. So that enzyme and substrate can go on to actually break that substrate apart rather than just combine it together like what we saw in our foldable the other day. So this is the example drawing I would give. It's not perfect here, but you get the gist. I went from the one big piece here, and it broke it down into two smaller pieces there. So the reason I'm talking about enzymes as a part of the cell cycle is because a part of the cell cycle is the synthesis or the making, the replicating of DNA. And that process could not occur without the presence of certain enzymes. So in order to understand the full cell cycle, I have to know the role of enzymes. I need you to know if, and then we have, oh my gosh, 4. Okay, I'm going to give up on writing 4. Give me a fist of 5 on having this down. How are we doing? A minute? I think that's fair. So what we're going to do now, on one of the pages you grabbed on your way in the room, the only one left. We're fixing to work through that page together so that we can glue it in our journals and have for future reference. Hey, Alex, the librarian said just come see her.
I already got it.
You did? You got it handled? Okay, good. And I'm about to move on. All right, you should have this document in front of you. So, at the top, it says blank, blank occurs in many phases or stages. That is cut off of the top of mine that you see on my screen. So if it's cut off, that's fine. You can write cell division occurs in phases. Cell division occurs in phases. Just across the top of your paper. So I have already filled in the drawings for you today, just for the sake of time, but we are going to reference them as we go about our notes today, okay? So the first one here, you're going to put, if you can't read it, it's interphase. Interphase. In this, DNA is copied. The chromosome number doubles. DNA is copied. The chromosome number doubles. They are coiled up DNA. Remember we talked about how it's like hair twists? If I took hair and I twisted it until it curled up on itself, DNA does that. And during that process, we're going to call it chromosomes, chromatid. Like, I'm going to give you some of those definitions here in just a second. All right. DNA appears as thin threads called, and there's a blank there. I'm going to write it over here. That is chromatin. DNA appears in thin threads called chromatin. And if you want, you can kind of draw that. Each pair of chromosomes or sister, so this blank here, that is chromatids. Each pair of chromosomes or sister chromatids are attached to this word here, centromere. And it's talking about this drawing here where there's an X with a dot in the center. That dot in the center is the centromere. The picture to the left of that is what a cell is going to look like during interphase. That genetic material within the nucleus will be visible. So again, it reads, DNA is copied, the chromosome number doubles. DNA appears as thin threads called chromatin. Each pair of chromosomes or sister chromatids are attached at a centromere. All right, we move now. You see below there it says mitosis is the division of the, in that space next to it you're going to put nucleus. There are 4 phases. So over here on your right-hand side you see that acronym we use, that pmat. So it is, with your hand show me, it is prophase, metaphase, anaphase, and telophase. I remember metaphase is in the middle, and anaphase we are pulling away. And my hands kind of look like A's when I do that, okay? Okay, so it is division of the nucleus. Nuclear membrane, we're going to put dissolves. Nuclear membrane dissolves. Chromatin condenses. So while we had those thin threads before, now we're actually going to be able to visibly see what we call the chromosomes. And again, that's that X with the dot in the middle. Condenses, yes ma'am. I'm going to read it again. Nuclear membrane disappears, chromatin condenses or winds up so that the DNA appears as chromosomes. The next one is centrioles form. These separate the chromosomes later. So that's my P in pmat. What we move to next right here is my M in pmat. It is metaphase. Do you see how in the drawing those chromosomes are in the middle of that nucleus, right? Centrioles move to opposite ends of the cell. Chromosomes line up in the middle of the cell. They want me to take attendance. This is Miss Stoley. Yes, ma'am. Uh-huh. Oh, I'm sorry. I got to jump off of this. I'll get back on. All right. I apologize. We are back on metaphase. Centrioles move to the opposite ends of the cell. Chromosomes line up in the middle of the cell. Spindle fibers. That's another organelle that you probably didn't talk about in 7th grade, but LE. Spindle fibers attach to the chromosomes. So we've had prophase, we're in metaphase. Now remember, our anaphase, it looks just like how we do our hands with our hand signals, doesn't it? We've got those parts now pulling away from one another. So we are now here on anaphase. Spindle fibers shorten. Chromosomes separate and are pulled to opposite ends of the cell. So again, with our hands, we've had prophase, we've had metaphase, and now we're on anaphase. So we're on the A of pmat. And then we get to cytokinesis. I'm sorry, no we don't. We get to telophase. Telophase, the nuclear membranes reappear. Chromosomes unwind to form that chromatin. Remember, we started with chromatin, didn't we? So now they're kind of relaxing again. You need to know, telophase is really just prophase in reverse. And then that last step. So right here, right there, mitosis ended.
How do you spell that last word?
Chromatin. Chromatin. So under telophase, mitosis ended. But wait, isn't there one more section? Yes. And that section is cytokinesis. So it's actually the division of the cytoplasm. Everything in the cell but the nucleus. Okay? So you're going to put here division of cytoplasm. The plasma membrane begins to pinch off to form two. We're going to put identical cells. Each new cell has the exact same DNA. I'm going to let everyone finish this before we flip to the back to have a discussion. And then we're going to end class today with a practice Kahoot. Give me a fist of 5 on getting this down. Yes, sir. Come up here. Which one, babe? Identical.
Identical?
Mm-hmm. Yes, ma'am. at your page, and this is what you see. So this is very similar to what we just drew in our journal, in our sales cycle notes, but it's just another good resource tool for you to look at. Interphase is the longest phase of the sales life. It has 3 parts. They are gap 1, S, and gap 2. What is the only part of the sales cycle that is not in interphase?
You said the only what?
Only thing that's not in interphase.
Mitosis.
Mitosis is the only thing that's not included in interphase. So here's what I'd like. Go ahead and fold that page in half hamburger style across the bottom of the back of this page. So down here below where it says copy, you're going to put, this is where you're going to put your glue, and you're going to glue this in your journal in the next blank page.